and welcome to I-24 News Sports Weekend Edition with some of the best stories from the past week in the world of sports. We begin with an upcoming story, but one that has us talking already. We're speaking about the Clasico, the clash between the two Spanish giants, Real Madrid and Barcelona, on Sunday night. Will also be the fight between the leading trios in world football. In one corner, it's Messi, Neymar, and Suarez, also known as the MSN. And on the other, it's the BBC, Bale, Benzema, and Cristiano. If you want to know how the teams are performing, look for the answers in the trio's numbers. Michael Friedman did the comparison.
The two biggest teams in Spain will step on the pitch again for the Clasico next Sunday on what will surely be a heated battle. Both teams are looking to bring home the Spanish League title, and this match may very well be the deciding factor. While both clubs have a lot of talent in their squads, there are three unique players for each side. Real Madrid was first to give Karim Benzema, Gareth Bale, and superstar Cristiano Ronaldo the nickname the BBC. But it didn't take long for Barca's three heroes to find themselves with their own abbreviation. Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and Neymar have received the name MSN after their fantastic performances together. Real Madrid's BBC connection was electric leading up to the winter break, putting together a new Spanish record with their 22-match winning run. But since coming back, the MSN have stepped up to overshadow their rivals. The numbers don't lie, and for this rivalry between the BBC and the MSN, the Barca stars have outshined the Madrid trio. And when you break down the individual performances by each player since January 1st, the MSN trio has been far superior in all competitions. Messi played in 17 matches in all competitions and scored 20 goals with 11 assists. Suarez played in 16 matches and scored 10 goals with 7 assists. And finally, Neymar played in 16 games and scored 12 goals and had 1 assist. For their rivals, the BBC numbers were significantly lower. Benzema has played in 16 matches with only 6 goals and 1 assist. Bale also played in 16 matches but scored just 5 goals with 3 assists. Ronaldo was their top star, finding the net 9 times with 4 assists in the 14 games he played in. The Barcelona players may therefore have the mental edge. Neymar has even gone out to the Spanish media to say, "We are better than the BBC." He can back this up as the MSN scored 42 goals with 19 assists as opposed to 20 goals and 8 assists for the BBC. The Brazilian striker knows what the stakes are for this match and is looking forward to stepping onto the pitch on Sunday.
The Clasico will be very important. We approach it as a final. We have a very good team and are only thinking about victory.
Barcelona will be looking to stay on top of the table and hoping for the treble this season, while Real Madrid still believe they have what it takes to reclaim the top of La Liga and wish to defend their Champions League title. So with everything on the line, it will be another battle for supremacy. Along with the fate of the BBC and the MSN, the two Spanish giants will look to carve their teams' names once again in history.
And Michael is here with us in the studio. Hi, Michael.
Hi.
So you just brought us the figures. Judging by this, it looks like Barcelona is coming in a better position to the game. Am I right?
Yes, it appears that way. Barcelona, they're in terrific form, and at what time do you want it? Then coming up to the Clasico, this is their time. If they really want to do well and win the La Liga, this is going to be the exact game for them to win that. And obviously with MSN being remarkable throughout, they have the little extra edge. You know, Real Madrid, they've been dipping in form, so it's going to be important for them to step up. And if they have any chance of getting through this, they're going to need Ronaldo and the guys to really get through and step their way up.
You mentioned Ronaldo, and the question is this really a story about the trio, or is it eventually Messi, Ronaldo? Because if we look at the beginning of the season, Ronaldo was unstoppable, so was Real Madrid. Now it's different. On the other hand, Messi got far, far better in the second half of the season, so Barcelona is rising. At the end of the day, is it only about these two?
Yeah, when you break down the MSN and the BBC, it's really two players. It's Ronaldo, it's Messi. Take away everything around it. These two superstars are going at it game in and game out, trying to one-up the next guy. And Messi being, having his extra edge lately, that's something that's helped Barcelona. And Ronaldo's going to have to really come together and find his form for this match, because if this team wants to go far, they need him to really be the main man.
Now, there's one name you didn't mention, that of Gareth Bale. He has not been at his best lately, but he scored twice last week. And if we go back to last season, every time Real Madrid had a final, Gareth Bale showed up. Whether it was the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona or in the Champions League final, Gareth Bale was there. This is almost like a final. Will this be the time for the 100 million euro man to rise up again?
And that's exactly it. The 100 million euros, time in and time out, they're thinking, is he worth that? And he holds a little chip on his shoulder. So for him, he is going in at a good time.
And there was that friction with Ronaldo lately, which we didn't see in his first season in Madrid.
Absolutely. So with Gareth Bale coming in his last game, scoring 2 goals, it's really important for him as well. What he wants to prove to the world, that he is a top player. And at any big stage, he's been the one to really step up. So I would look at him to be the X factor in this match.
Giant matchup coming up on Sunday with Messi, with Ronaldo, with the trios, BBC, MSN. Great
football, amazing.
That you know. Michael Friedman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Still with football, and if you followed Italian football in the 90s, then you surely remember Parma as one of the most exciting teams in the Serie A. With some giant names such as Thomas Brolin, Faustino Asprilla, and Gianfranco Zola, the club from northern Italy won trophies both at home and in European competitions. 20 years later, Parma has to fight another battle. This time, it's the one to survive.
The beautiful game is finally back on stage at Italy's Parma Football Club. After 2 games were postponed because the cash-strapped club couldn't afford to pay for stewards, fans reunited last weekend at the Tardini Stadium to watch their team play. With an estimated 200 million euros of debt, the club is in deep financial crisis. Players and employees have not been paid for 7 months, and the Italian league had to contribute 5 million euros just to ensure the club can finish the season.
Non si è capito che non sono I soldi.
You don't understand. It's not money that motivates us. 5, 10 or 15 million euros won't change a thing. We'll carry on playing for free this week and the next. We won't get paid a dime before the society goes bankrupt. Until that time, we won't see a euro.
Parma's future is now in the hands of the law. It's feared the club may be declared bankrupt in court on March the 19th. They are not the only Italian club in difficulties because of financing.
I think the 3/4 of the teams in the Italian Serie A are in debt of millions of euros, and I don't believe they can solve all their problems overnight.
Yet among people in Parma, there is hope for a brighter future. The city's young reformist mayor believes the situation can kick off an overhaul of Italian football.
This economic mess is a negative parable of Italian football, but we must take advantage of it to reboot its values. We'd rather have someone honest make us start over in the 4th division than stay in the 2nd league with more money from some speculating backer.
Supporters still reminisce about the club's glory days, a time when players like Gigi Buffon and Lilian Thuram helped the team win 3 European Cups and numerous titles. But even in times of hardship, their loyalty remains strong.
Parma FC fans will continue to support their team regardless of the club's future. We only ask for one thing. The ones who committed errors that put the club in this situation must pay.
Last year, UEFA refused to give the team a license to compete in the Europa League due to unpaid taxes. It's hoped the team will somehow find a way to stay in the game and one day rise to glory from the ashes.
The long wait is over for Formula One fans as the 2015 season finally got into gear with the first race in Melbourne, Australia. The different teams spent millions in the break on their new cars and new technologies in the hope of better results. But as it seems, this year will look exactly like the previous one. Michael Friedman with a story.
Formula One motor racing is back again. The new season began in Australia in the hopes that Lewis Hamilton can capture consecutive world championships is underway. The reigning champion made the perfect start to the new season as he coasted to victory in Melbourne. It was all celebrations for the Mercedes team as he finished first and second in the race, just like they ended last season. Hamilton lifted the trophy after the race, but was most surprised to find himself next to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Congratulations.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. How you doing?
Luis, what does it feel like having won last year's World Championship and now winning the first race again?
Well, it's obviously a real pleasure to be here. We have the greatest fans here today. Thank you so much for coming out. You know, my team did an amazing job today, and it's an incredible feeling, obviously, to continue on from last year, but also to be up here with you, man. I thought you were taller. I thought he was taller on the Terminator.
The Mercedes team has a lot to be proud of with two of the top drivers in the world on their team. Hamilton took the checkered flag 1.3 seconds ahead of his teammate, Nico Rosberg, at the Albert Park circuit, with the rest of the pack chasing behind. After the race, second place Rosberg had only praise to give to his teammate.
Well, I mean, it's a nice feeling to be second today because it's an awesome start into the season for us as a team. Absolutely stunning car they've given us. I mean, unbelievable. And no, Lewis has just done a fantastic job this weekend. He drove like a world champion all weekend.
There was a series of pre-race incidents, which meant only 11 of the 15 cars who started the race went through the finish line. Those drivers were all hoping for better results that day, especially the four-time Formula One world champion Sebastian Vettel, who came in third place, but is also looking to reclaim the title.
So we have a great race, not only in qualifying, but also for the race, and it's great to join them, and I'm really proud. There's a lot of work ahead of us, trying to beat these two and beat Mercedes, but I'm sure we will.
The focus will now shift to Malaysia, where the second race of the season will take place at the end of the month.
And now it's time for our weekly look at the events in the NBA. And after discussing the ups and downs in the Western Conference last week, we now look to the East again. And with me here in the studio is our NBA analyst, Merav Savir. Hi, Merav.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. Merav, we'll start with the Cavs. And if we learned something this week is that the Cleveland Cavaliers are far, far more than just LeBron James, Kyrie Irving scoring 33 points per game during the span of the week.
And they're far more than LeBron James and Kyrie Irving,
far
if we can say
too.
that. Also, they have one of the deepest teams, where if LeBron's not on his best one night, that's fine. Kyrie can drop 57. We saw that against the Spurs when I believe he dropped 57. Kyrie's not having a good game. That's okay. JR has the ability to score 30 points in a night. Kevin Love, they just have a list of players that doesn't stop. And that's the most interesting thing about this team, is that each night somebody else can come out and have the best game, and they keep on winning. And we've seen this throughout the second half of the season. They've been absolutely unstoppable, not only at home against some of the biggest teams, and it's because every time a different player.
Beating the Spurs in San Antonio.
In overtime. That was an overtime game. It was a 3-point game at the end, and that was the night Kyrie scored 57 points. But they have an absolutely amazing team, and it's still young, and there's still a lot to learn from it. A lot of players that have never been to a playoffs. So it will be interesting come just a couple of weeks from now.
And when those couple of weeks go by and the playoffs come in, you know that when LeBron James is on your team, this is going to be a team that in the playoffs will probably perform even better.
And we've seen that happen throughout the season. They've been performing so much better throughout the season. At the beginning, there's so much speculation. How will all these superstars play together on one court?
Under a new coach.
Exactly. And we've seen it come, and it's gotten better. And every time they get better, they told Kevin Love, stop thinking about it as we all have to play together. Just do your own thing. LeBron James is doing his own thing. Kyrie Irving keeps getting better. I didn't think that was possible. They brought in great players when they had the trades. Timothy Mozgov from Denver, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert are actually doing a lot better now that we're with Cleveland than they were in New York. So they keep bringing in all these players and all these different elements that are only going to help them come playoff time.
And now, probably the only team that may be on their way is the Hawks. We don't know how the Bulls will be once Derrick Rose comes back. So the Hawks, probably the only team stopping them on the way to the Eastern Conference Championship. Can the Hawks, even with a home court advantage that they will probably have, can they stand a long series with such a team?
Well, I'm not going to say yes or no. It's an interesting dynamic between the two. They've already played their 4 games against them. The Hawks took 3 out of the 4. And the only one they lost was the beginning of the season when the Cavs haven't really clicked yet. But that's another question. Come playoff time, everything is different. LeBron is all of a sudden a much better player. He carries his teams. And whether or not both teams have some young players who may have not seen that much playoff time. But we saw them play against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, this week. And they lost big time.
And they lost big time, and they looked tired. So the question is, can they beat the Cavaliers consecutive games, or only when they have a couple months apart between these different games?
Because this may very well be a series going all the way, 6-7 games easy.
Absolutely. And this is the Atlanta and the Golden State game. A lot of people were saying, maybe this is a preview of the finals. If this is a preview of the finals, well, it looks like the West is going to take it again, that there's no competition. Because Golden State just keeps coming and looking better and better, and they're very impressive.
Well, with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, these are two guys you want on your side and come the playoffs.
Absolutely. But going back to Atlanta, they actually could have clinched their division with the game, but Washington also won their game. They're sitting pretty at the top now, even between them and Cleveland. We're talking about Cleveland may beat them in the playoffs. There's 10 games between them at the moment, with only 14 games left in the season. So
much to look for in the NBA. Merav Savir, thank you very much. And that's it for this weekend edition. Don't forget you can watch this and every other show on our website at i24news.tv, also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.